In today's video, we are going to be talking and working with the volume of a sphere formula. So the volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed, where r is the radius from the center of the sphere to the edge of the sphere. So as long as you know the radius, you can figure out the volume, how much is filled within a sphere. So in this problem, it says, what is the volume of a sphere with a radius of 41.8 inches rounded to the nearest tenth of a cubic inch? So we take our 4.8 or 41.8 and plug it in. And be careful when you plug in these numbers and put them in a calculator. 41.8 cubed. I always put parentheses around it. All right. So 4/3 pi times 41.8 cubed. So calculator, 4/3 pi 41.8 cubed. Be careful when you're putting them in. Make sure you're multiplying. You get 305.926.75. So you have to round this 0.7 up to 0.8 because the 5 bumps it up to 8. So I'm just going to 305.926.8. 305.926.8 inches cubed. All right, make sure the point's there. Double check. 305.926.8. 305.926.8. Good. Awesome. All right, let's take a look at another one. Was the volume of a sphere with a diameter of 9.9 centimeters. So volume. What's my volume formula again? 4/3 pi r cubed. All right, so we have 9.9. So we're going to plug that in. Oh, hold on a second. It is not 9.9 because it's a diameter of 9.9. Remember, diameter is half, or a radius is half of the diameter. So half of 9.9, let's figure that out. 9.9 divided by 2 is 4.95. 4.95. So that is my radius. Now that goes into my formula. So we have 4/3 pi r cubed. So it's 4.95 cubed. And what's that going to be about? Because we have to round it to the nearest tenth. So 4.95. 4/3 pi 4.95. Oh, not squared. Cubed. And it is 508.04. So the 4 keeps the 0 where it's at. It doesn't bump it up. So it's about 508.0. Point. It's an ugly point. There we go. 0.0 centimeters cubed. Okay. So be careful when they have diameter. Make sure you find half of it to get the radius. All right, one more. Let's look at a hemisphere, because sometimes they ask for a hemisphere. So a hemisphere has the radius of 9.7, and you have to find the volume rounded to the nearest tenth. So basically, we're going to use the same volume formula, but at the end, since it's a hemisphere, we're going to take our answer and divide it by 2 or multiply it by 1/2. So they give us the radius. They give us the radius is 9.7, right? So you have 4/3 pi r cubed. So it's 9.7 cubed. And then when we're done with this, we are going to divide this by 2 at the end. Cutting in half, or multiply by 1/2, or 0.5. All right. But I'm just going to do this part first in the calculator. So 4/3 pi times 9.7 cubed. So I'm just going to actually just change this number since I have this formula in here. 9.7 cubed. And I have that. And I'm going to take that answer, right, and divide it by this answer. Divide it by 2. And you get 1911.49. That bumps this up to a 5. So it's 1911.5. 0.5. All right. And I should say this is about, not exactly. All right. So with the hemisphere, you take the sphere and then just divide it by 2 to get the hemisphere. All right. Even any other kind of figures that you might see sometimes half of a cylinder. For example, if I have a cylinder that looks like this, right? And then I cut it in half. Boom, 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 boom. Right? Cut it in half. You would just take the volume of the whole cylinder and divide it by 2 at the end to get half of the cylinder. All right. So that's it for today's lesson. Make sure also you're always using the radius and not the diameter. If they give you the diameter, you cut in half to get the radius. And that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching today's video. And always remember, whether you're solving for X or Y, always give math a try.